How's it going, everyone? Oh, man. Monday morning, huh? 10:54 a.m. Monday morning. For some reason, it does not feel like a Monday morning. I don't know why. It honestly still feels like the weekend for me. I don't know why. Probably because Santa Claus may not come to town. Although I've been doing a lot of Christmas shopping, but it just, oh man, are we going to get Santa Claus to come to the rally? To come to the market rally? To have a Santa Claus market rally? Well, we need Santa to go ahead and grab his sack filled of Benjamins. Oh, yes, indeedy. If you need some euros because you're in a different country, let's grab some euros. I actually had the luxury of living in Germany for a little over 2 years. Was stationed there with the military on active duty, the Marine Corps. Very. It's kind of humorous. Very small Marine Corps unit over there. There was only like it's less than like 200. The amount of soldiers over there was like in the tens and tens of thousands. But euros over there, like it's a $2 euro, or it shouldn't say $2, but €2 is like a coin. It's pretty awesome. So I literally had like a pocket filled of coins because they didn't have like $1 or $2 bills and stuff. All the big. So Santa Claus needs, point that I'm making, Santa Claus needs to grab some euros, grab some dollars. What other countries are you guys watching me from? I really got to double check my demographics, but I appreciate all of you all for watching these videos. If you find value in them, definitely smash the like button. We're going to be talking about a market update for today. We're going to be talking about SoFi because SoFi is my baby. Actually, no. SoFi is my baby bull. However, my I want to say teenage bull is probably AMD. Because AMD is really, like, AMD could very well, might not blossom into the gigantic bull that I see it potentially being, but we can still make a lot of money on AMD. So if you find value in these videos, definitely smash the subscribe button too. Been talking to quite a few of you all through the comments, let alone we picked up more subscribers in the last week as well, on a road to 100. Yeah, 100 subs. Okay, here we go. Kind of rambled on for a little bit. What is going on in the market? Well, we have a lot of fears. Fears. I don't understand why. Actually, I do understand why. Because people are scared out of their wits about upcoming data that Powell said don't trust. He didn't really say why, so the U.S. stock market, for anyone that does not know, it literally is built around a guessing game. That's all it is. If I had to explain to you what the U.S. stock market is in less than 60 seconds, it is nothing more than a bunch of children trying to guess what the future is and make money on it. That's all it is. What does that signal? Well, it signals that we are gambling. But are we gambling where we're buying a bunch of short-term options, or are we gambling in the sense of buying shares on profitable companies and betting on the future? I am looking at some long-term options for SoFi and AMD. I'm not sure if I'm going to pull the trigger on it just yet. Maybe in the next couple days, I'll definitely let you guys know. But Powell essentially said, hey, don't trust this data. Why don't we want to trust the unemployment data? Why don't we want to trust the initial jobless claims? Is because all this is coming from when the government was shut down, so it can be very skewed. However, a lot of people are really saying that once we get past this data, we're basically like without a catalyst up until like January. So we're not going to be getting any more catalysts pretty much next week. Next week is Christmas. We got a short week, or rather some off days. Everything's going to be on algos in the beginning of the week. It's going to be terrible because if the algos want to push us down, the algos are going to push us down. Bots. Big Wall Streeters are on vacation. Some Jewish Wall Streeters are already already gone on vacation, been on vacation because of Hanukkah. Then you got some pre-Christmas Wall Streeters as well. You got some post-Christmas Wall Streeters. The next week, it's just going to be like, I mean, hey, if Santa Claus is coming to town, Santa Claus needs to show up very quickly. And then the following week with New Year's, that's even shorter. But we're not really going to get a catalyst until like the second week in January. So if something were to drastically happen as a black swan event, let's say more terrorist attacks, that could bring the market down because we don't have any positive catalysts. And already the market is kind of really fearful. On top of that, too, you got to really consider that an interest rate cut for January is not guaranteed. I actually am a little bullish that we are probably going to get an interest rate cut because the same verbiage was said during the November interest rate cut decision. So November, Powell said, oh, we don't know. It's not guaranteed for getting interest rate cut in December. We got an interest rate cut in December. So, I mean, hey, January's interest rate cut is not guaranteed, but we got a rate cut in December. So we may be on track for a rate cut in January. Going to be extremely bullish. I just took a look over. So SoFi in the 5-minute time frame is just being pushed down. Like I said, a lot of it has to do with algos. A lot of it has to do with the past weekend. Some bad, tragic shootings that ended up happening is being deemed as being a terrorist attack. So that's being thrown all over mainstream. Not to mention, I'm just looking at Bitcoin over here. Bitcoin is now not hovering near or below 90. We are very much below 90K. If we were at like 89K, okay, you know, even like 88K, but we're just really trending down. This candlestick right here is extremely bearish. I forgot the name of this candlestick, but if you ever see a candlestick like this, it's a bearish candlestick because the big part of the candlestick is all the way down to the bottom. I believe it's a falling star. It could be wrong. If you type into Google the types of candlesticks, I honestly should make a video. Probably tomorrow's video, I'm going to spend some time talking about candlesticks because they do matter. But right now, on the day, it is a bearish day for Bitcoin, which means the entire market is pretty much having like a bad day. I have been a shareholder of Tesla repeatedly. I made money every single time getting into Tesla. I did not get into Tesla many years ago. I got into Tesla a little bit around 2022. I made some money on the volatile swings. 2023, I really traded it. 24, I ended up buying it before the election. Literally made over 100%, and then I got out. Have not gotten back into Tesla since then. And Tesla is one stock that I'm just going to keep an eye on because it just is pretty remarkable. I mean, their sales are just not really doing like the best. Depending who you talk to, they're go ahead and put up a fight. But what's keeping Tesla trending higher and going higher is because of just future things that could very well be factored in. Other than like an EV sector. Musk is a brilliant man because the guy is such an innovator. He props his company up by sub areas of profitability. SpaceX, who the hell knows what is going to end up happening with SpaceX, especially if some type of integration is probably going to end up... The point that I'm saying is like, if we were to go back in time several years ago and you were to talk about robotaxi, you were to talk about basically everything that could happen in the future, probably nobody would believe you. Tesla just keeps coming out with more and more like innovations. It's just remarkable Because so many people, after the election happened, said, yeah, Tesla's going to go through one of those big pushes and then big sells off. And that's what happens to Tesla a lot. They go on these massive runs and then they just collapse. If you can time it perfectly or somewhat perfectly, you can make a pretty decent amount. But Tesla is very volatile, although I like to really look at Tesla and I like to track Tesla. Because if Tesla is doing somewhat well, it tends to mean the overall market is too. We're kind of really seeing like a little bit of the opposite here. A lot of stocks are having a rough time. Well, actually, Palantir just turned somewhat green here. AMD, it did also. Robinhood still selling off with massive fears. Adobe is getting a pullback. So the market right now is kind of maybe leveling out in a way. But we did have a definitely massive drawdown here early during the daytime. Okay, so that's really some updates we gotta be tracking. It kind of really does make me wonder if we're gonna be getting some pretty bad data over the next couple days, or maybe bad data in the sense as hot data. And it very well could be skewed by the government shutdown. If we do enter another government shutdown in January, there is really no knowing of how long it's going to last, and that's a scary thing. Because the government shutdown that we just got out of, the reason it stopped is because it started to affect airline travels. Now, this new government shutdown, we could very well see the opposite. Because airline travels were becoming a problem during Thanksgiving time frame, and that's the whole reason why the government shutdown ended, is because with the amount of government employees that were being not laid off, but just not coming to work, it was affecting travel, especially with the holidays. We enter a government shutdown in January, we have no major holidays. February, we have no major holidays. I believe Easter is super late this year. So the point is that we could when the hell is Easter this year? Does my calendar seriously not show any holidays? What? Windows 11 calendar? You suck balls. Hold on one second. We have a St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. We have a, wow. Okay, so Easter is, Good Friday is, April 3rd. So theoretically, I honestly don't even know if a lot of people do a lot of traveling for Easter. Maybe they do, but maybe not as much as Thanksgiving and Christmas. We could very well be in a government shutdown for February, March, which is going to surpass this government shutdown that we just had. And at the same time, a lot of this data is going to be fucked up. It's going to be delayed. So, in theory, if the data is, let's say, not good in January, we could get a January rate cut. But then, we could have no rate cut for February, no rate cut for March, no rate cut for April, and we're playing super catch-up in May, but guess what? Powell is leaving in May. So the whole point is that we very well could have one more rate cut and then no more rate cut until the second half of 2026. The market is realizing this and probably not really liking a lot of stuff as well. So that's really one thing to factor in. Now, what is my personal game plan? Once again, if you've been following me, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a small fish in a big pond. I'm doing a public challenge, bung profile. Oh yes, the bung profile. Let's see how the bung profile is doing today. Well, today we are bleeding some more. Still have $1,200 left to pretty much deploy. Over the last, actually over the last month now, keeps going further and further. I have deployed a lot of money in this market, and this challenge is officially going to start in January. And the reason why I'm kind of really waiting is because I want to see if I want to push this profile challenge to maybe even higher. $30,000 in the course of 12 to 18 months to six figures. Pretty basic. But if we witness a very nasty sell-off at the early half of this year, 2026, I'm probably going to deploy more cash. I am not a margin trader. Never have done margin before. I actually think it's bad JoJo. So therefore, if we have a sell-off in the first half of the year, I'm gonna be deploying probably close to maybe minimum 10K, maximum probably 20K into this account, and we're gonna be buying more stock. You buy the fear. It's very simple. You buy the fear, you sell the rip. If you are a long-term shareholder of a company and there is a massive drawdown, well, then you buy the dip and you sit back and enjoy your future investment. But if you are a trader, like a lot of positions here are pretty much probably going to be trades, I'm probably going to be exiting some of these positions, 50% of the position, maybe probably after Q2 of next year, and probably be opening up new stock positions. But in January, I'll post the official rules that I'm going to be giving myself to make it very interesting. But the whole point is that you can definitely go from 30, 40, 50K, double your money to 100K by very much getting into extremely profitable companies that have been beaten down because of fear. Utter fear. Yes, fear. Fear because these companies are profitable. They're profitable, massively profitable, and have amazing growth rates. But right now, we are just experiencing fear in the market. To be honest, if not Palantir, to be honest, yeah, probably the same for Palantir too. Robinhood. So I was not aggressive on buying Robinhood a couple weeks ago. I should have been more aggressive buying Robinhood. I really should have. Because I really wanted to build my Robinhood position to maybe $4,000 and maybe more. So it's pretty funny. A couple weeks ago, if you watched my videos, I was up by over 20% on Robinhood. Now, theoretically, I could have sold that 25%, but then again, I could have never. I mean, it's if you were to ask me, hey, do you think Robinhood is going to go back down to your average after Powell gives us a rate cut? I personally would have said it's probably going to be a coin toss. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Obviously, this was more than likely a buy the rumor situation. A rate cut was not guaranteed in December, and we got one. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Obviously, you had people with a lot more money than me buying this dip down here. Maybe instead of buying a $3,000 position into Robinhood, they bought in with maybe a $30,000 position. Maybe they bought into a $300,000 position. I am pretty much in the term of right now on this profile, I'm basically doing a blend of long-term swing trading. So greater than 6 months, because the definition of swing trading is anything less than 6 months. But Robinhood's growth rates are just insane. So, I mean, I'm really excited to see what's happening for the next quarter. And especially a lot of this is based on fear. So therefore, if their great growth rates are not going to be affected by fear, because fear tends to affect the overall stock, not the company itself. The stock price is very different than the company itself. If the company is executing, but the stock price is going down, that means the stock is undervalued significantly. So, sure, let Robinhood go back down to this area. I may honestly pick up more shares here. But hypothetically, if I was a straight trader, I would have probably started to exit some of my position here because I would have been up by over 20%. And I mean, hypothetically, if I was trading with a much bigger amount of money, that's a pretty decent return, significantly, especially when you're trading with like tens and tens of thousands of dollars. You're talking about a very decent return in a matter of like 1 month. Actually less than 1 month. I think I was up by over 25% on Hood here in a matter of a couple weeks. So go ahead and amplify that cash. That's a very decent, short-term trade. So, I still got cash to really deploy. And like I said, it really depends what happens at the first half of the year. But we're just seeing a lot of fear carry over into this market. And it carry over from this past weekend to now today. Go ahead and add in the fears of retaliation, especially with some Syria news as well. It's definitely very much heartbreaking. Anything related to war is absolutely terrible. But then again, a geopolitical event is a buy the dip opportunity. Always. Always. So, damn, Ice Cube. Now my teeth are cold. Robinhood, I'm definitely looking at pretty closely. Palantir, I'm probably not looking to add in any more shares. Palantir is just a lot stronger than Robinhood. So I don't really think we're going to see a gigantic volatile swing back down in Palantir. I could be wrong. AMD, I am a little cynical here. I really would love AMD to very much get below 200. On this profile, my SoFi is it's pretty funny because on my private account, my Robinhood account, SoFi is my largest position, not only with gains but also with cost basis. AMD here is my largest position on a cost basis, but not on gains. So hypothetically, if AMD went up by 97%, this AMD position would be over 17 grand, making it the largest position. I really want AMD on this account to really surpass SoFi on a cost basis. That's, it call me a little crazy, but I am very comfortable with having AMD on here being very much a 1/3 size of a position for a cost basis. Now, obviously, I'm rolling the dice here, but it's very much conservative because Lisa Su, the CEO of AMD, does not hype up her own stock. Go and listen to a conference call. She's phenomenal. The vast majority of people do not listen to conference calls. It's all public. It just requires time. I'm a video gamer. I consider trading stocks in the stock market to be a video game as well, too. But I mean, I'll go ahead and play a fucking video game and I'll listen to conference calls literally just like on like 1.5 speed. A lot of people do that. They listen to they listen to YouTube videos like sped up. It does save you time. Especially if you have a slow talker like Elon Musk. Then it does, it saves you time, damn it. But overall, Lisa Su has pretty much stated that on a conservative basis, we're going to be looking at 35% growth rates. That is massive. Massive. Wall Street is not even paying attention to AMD. So AMD, I am really pushing here. And the second half of next year, if OpenAI comes through, NVIDIA is handing OpenAI a lot of cash beginning of Q3 of next year. OpenAI is going to slap NVIDIA in the face. And the reason OpenAI is getting cash is because of investments that they've made. So NVIDIA is going to give give OpenAI money. OpenAI, Sam Altman has said, I'm going to give and I'm gonna buy AMD chips. I'm not gonna buy Nvidia chips. That's pretty fucking funny. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to keep it PG here, but I just can't. It's pretty funny. Not to mention, like I said, I do have a military background, so I do curse a lot. But I'll try to keep it PG. Lisa Su, I believe, is undervaluing her performance. If we see anything above 40% growth rates on AMD like we're seeing on SoFi, forget about it. Like, you're talking the second half of next year, AMD could double, AMD could triple. Okay, maybe not triple. When I say double, I mean AMD is at 400, so that's double up. Yes, that's double up. And then if we go ahead and double, it's the terminology is all messed up. AMD by the end of next year could be 400 if everything happens. AMD could be 600 maybe if we go into a super bullish environment. Low interest rates. The economy is running strong. All this external money that the Trump administration is promising is going to be flowing into this country. This is why I am a little cynical, and if it bothers anyone out there listening, well, it's really what I feel and what I want to happen. If this market sells off at the beginning of this year, oh man, it's going to be buying opportunities. If we do not sell off at the end of this year, this profile is very well positioned. Very, very well positioned. I think I've rambled on long enough here. But otherwise, right now, we just got to really wait for this data. We got to wait for tomorrow. We got to wait for Wednesday. We got to wait for Thursday. We got to see if Santa Claus is going to be coming in town or not. SoFi is just going to do what SoFi is going to do right now. There is nothing wrong fundamentally with SoFi. Nothing. This is just mere fear-mongering BS. Can SoFi break this 100-day? It looks like we actually gained some support here. If SoFi does break the 100-day, we have consolidation all the way between 25 as low as maybe 23. Then we also got consolidation down here right above the 200-day moving average, the low 20s. If SoFi breaks below $25 again, I might throw a couple $100 at it on this profile. If we go below 23, 22, I might actually throw some more. Depending what happens over the next couple of weeks, I might deposit more money into this account. I really got to see. If we go ahead and completely sell off like we did several weeks ago here, so if we go ahead and retest this bottom, or if we go back to the 100-day moving average on the major indexes, stocks are going to free fall. So if we are going to have a 2018, because in 2018, stocks fell until Christmas. If we do fall again to the 100-day moving average, maybe I got to build up this account a little more, because maybe that dip is not going to happen in January. Maybe the dip is going to happen before Christmas. That's something to really think. As always, do your research, do your due diligence. If you put your faith into someone on YouTube, you gotta, first of all, you should put your faith into God. Not into man, because I'm not God. I don't have divine powers. It would be pretty cool if I did. I'm not gonna lie. But just do your research and due diligence. And for some of you all that I have talked to, it seems that we are on the same page as being very much bullish for next year. And even though you don't agree with maybe my stock picks, you definitely agree with that the future, with the Federal Reserve behind us, it's going to create a bullish future for pretty much anything. Hopefully. Let's hope and pray. Okay, love you all. See you tomorrow for a new video. Please subscribe and like this video and take it easy. Be safe and later.